Good afternoon. It's the last day of the month, February 28th, 2017. We had another record close for a month, not as high as yesterday's high. So we have 13 days, at least on the Dow, that we did close higher from what I can tell looking at the late stats. Start with our disclaimer. Hypothetical or simulated performance results have certain limitations. Unlike an actual performance record, simulated results do not represent actual trading. Also, since the trades have not been executed, the results may have under or overcompensated for the impact, if any, of certain market factors such as lack of liquidity. Simulated trading programs in general are also subject to the fact that they're designed with the benefit of hindsight. No representation is being made that any account will or is likely to achieve profit or losses similar to those shown. Okay, we came in today not really expecting much of a market. We thought it was going to be dead. The overnight session was a 3-point range. We had a 3.5-point range in the day session till we had this spill right here. Market came back up and we went out at 2362.50, below yesterday's close. So it was just the market was on hold awaiting Trump's speech tonight. We had a buy at 60.62 right in here. Then we had a buy at 55.57 right down here. Didn't quite get there. So our number one produced trades, and if you were buying at the edge, leaning against pivot lows or leaning against pivot highs or mean green trades, you did fine. If you were taking the trades off the S's and B's, you had poor trade location. There wasn't much there for you. So we did not expect much of a day trading the E-mini. We did not get much of a day. All going to boil down to what Trump says tonight. And if Trump tax cuts, cut back in industrial in rules and regulations, doesn't really hit the tariffs, the border taxes too hard, it will be very, very supportive. If he gets out there and nails border taxes and tariffs and rails against other countries too loudly, it probably won't help the market. So it's all down to what Trump says. My guess is that he will mention tariffs and border taxes, but probably won't emphasize them too much. On the F1 screen, we've got a lower high and a lower low. That tells us lower tomorrow. We could be seeing a rumor fact trading situation set up. If we look at the day session, it is definitely a B. And we'll see if we get follow-through selling. We do have news tomorrow. Personal income up 0.3. Personal spending up 0.3. Core PCE up 0.3. So that was the number right there. PMI manufacturing, don't know. ISM manufacturing 56.4. Construction spending, they never make the number up 0.5%. And crude inventories, don't know for sure for the EIAs, but the APIs built 2.5. So the news focus will be personal spending, ISM, after, led by Trump's speech. Okay, right now, based on the close right now, you'd be selling the 65, 67 area would be sell 1. 70, 72 would be sell 2. On the buy side, 59, 61 buy 1. 55, 57 buy 2. So trying to buy 55s to 60s when you get right down to it, and trying to sell 67s to 72s. Looking at treasuries, treasuries got whacked. 2 Fed governors this afternoon in their speeches talked about time to raise interest rates sooner rather than later, and the odds for a rate hike in March jumped from the mid-30s to 75% on the close. So that's why treasuries were off and finished very, very weakly. Lower high, lower low. Find a place to sell it based on the F1. F2, We were hanging in there. Then in J period we started to get selling. And then in N period we started to get more. So down to the Trump speech. And does the Fed raise interest rates mid-March? First, we got hit pretty hard. So 21s to 17s by 1. All down to Trump's speech. 9 to 13 by 2. 27 to 31, sell 1. 3 to 7, sell 2. We do have news, but Trump's speech will be the, we'll have that built into the market when we come in the morning. ZB. Had a B. Starting out, the market did sell, did finish weak. The odds jumping to 75% for the rate cut. The rate increase, middle of the month. Number 1 will be 8 to 12, 15 to 19, sell 1. 23, 27, sell 2. And again, it's going to be down to Trump's speech. 28 to the buck, number 1. 21 to 25, buy 1. Picking up this area right over here. And then 13 to 17, buy 2, picking up this area right there, that high volume number. Interest rates can't go as long as the real super bears say, because of what it does to the debt service. Going from $10 trillion to $20 trillion in 8 years, that changed the whole dynamics, and it's going to take many moons to dig out from underneath that. And Trump's doesn't have the flexibility that Obama or George Bush had. But George Bush juggled it from $5 trillion to $10 trillion. That was actually 9. And then Obama doubles it from 10 trillion to 20. So you talk about spendthrifts. Believers then that the government is the solution. Okay, looking at gold, F1, lower high, lower low, find a place to sell it. F2, definitely a B. New move started down in the I period, so we've got a very clean break up here at 53. And the last rotate up stopped at 52, so 52, 55, sell 1. 58, 60, sell 2. 45, 47, buy 1. And again, it's going to get down to Trump's speech, whatever he says. And we'll know that when we come in the morning. London, you'll know what happened to the market based on what he said. And the market will have reacted before you get up and start trading. Okay, crude. The API's built 2.5 million barrels. Crude was off a little bit after that. I do not have a guesstimate for the EIA numbers. Lower high, lower low. Look for a place to sell it. That high volume number on this screen basically held. I think the low was 53.18. We came in and there was pretty solid selling. And then we had in J period right here an announcement that OPEC was within 94% compliance, and the ethanol subsidies were open for debate, and crude exploded to the upside. Finally produced some range and some volatility, and there was some good trading. There were 3 Bs leading up to that if you were trading them over the lunch hour. But again, news will move this market, so the APIs were a little bearish, so 54, 54 and a quarter, sell 1. 54.50, 54.75, sell 2. The best sells against 55. On the buy side, 53.50, 53.75, buy 1. And then 53 even, 53 and a quarter, buy 2. And looking at the euro, if Trump cut taxes, decreased rules and regulations, nothing about tariffs, the euro should come off. If he really emphasizes tariffs, then the euro probably will trade up a little bit. That will hurt our economy. Now, he can go in and bilaterally negotiate. You know, when you sell to China, China has tariffs on everything, and you can't sell your goodies there unless you give them trade secrets or open up factories. You can go in and do a lot of work that way, but otherwise just unilaterally putting on tariffs and the rest of it without negotiations with the country, so that's not a good idea. Inside day on the F1 screen, find a place to trade it. On the F2 screen, pretty square. The selling started in H period. We had a couple of distributions down, so resistance is basically in that 106 and a quarter area, plus or minus, and we've had pretty good support in the 105.50 to 60 area, right down here. I think we're going to sell and go for stops below 105.58, so 105.50 by 1, 105 and a quarter by 2. Sell number 1 will be 105.90 to 106, sell 1. 106.20, 106.30, sell 2. That's it. End of the month, end of February. I will see you bright and early in the morning on March, start of March, and hopefully we'll be able to find some trades that make us some money tomorrow morning. Y'all have a great evening.